really just trying to get all the way through this 32. Look. Cash is hold no collateral. I'm a profit bitch, that's what I had to do. Stop the shit you ain't have to do. The pot, the pissin' ain't half as cool as the studio right after school. I was there cause I had it, fool. I got it then, and I got it in, and I got it in till I had to move. Slinging beats on the west side. That was back when we had the booth. Then was probably the best time. Bitches throwing ass and they showing booze. Everybody came rolling through. Pulling up and they blowing too. Good gas in the forward too. Good tracks and they love to move. From the spaz on a nigga like he was getting there from a nigga white. I been bumping cash, got me feeling like I been in the last of my little life. I was gay, what you made, let me kill us right. 100 ways to the grave, it might be the night. I just made me another one, but I'm feeling right. It's okay if I fade, just remember Mike. As the realest, bitch, I did this shit for years. We was the kid, killing these niggas for real. Bitch, you don't think that I'm sick? Ho, you can't hear. I know you think that I'm trill. Born and pussy in my ear. Tupac and Big, Jay-Z, Nasir and Manil. I do this shit for my kin. Look at my skin, I'm the beginning, the end. King in my blood, no flicks. No, these fucking bras won't catch raw. Hit you with the all-now test. Watch out for them niggas standing next. Y'all play the right part to the I card on the I only one you can guess. Break his chest, neck, face, legs. Break his chest, neck, face, legs, and arms. But you can't compare me to Edison. Bright as that first light, but right off that medicine. Meddling, devilish, oh, but I'm better than anyone heaven sent. Bitch, let's Lucy, I'm woozy, I've been a trip. Going stupid with doobies up in the wheel. Fuck a groupie, I'm doing this manuscript. You a newbie, I'm new, but the hell is kick. Stupid bitch, and I ain't with having convo. I'm busy switching my console. Cause the game will change up on your pronto. The sky fell, I sell poncho. Cap been twisted since Mondo's. Prison rules, barcodes. This the jungle with the tar rolls. Play the hand like guitar rolls. Harpsichords, I'm Miss Hardest Thor. I'm an artist, boy. Know what awesome, boy. I'm in the car with Carson going almond joy. The Herf is talking some harvest noise. What's a pussy to a starving boy? 100 cookies in a carton of soy. Fuck a rookie, I'm a garden joy. Yeah, fuck a rookie, I'm a garden joy, bitch.
Did you mention my name? I'm bringing pain at the major. Go straight to the paper, get rolled like a Vega, you lame. Bitch, I'm done doing them favors. Bad bitches and nosy neighbors. I'm chillin', I'm blunted or something. Fuck it, go make me an omelet or something. I'm hungry, skin is real sunny, melanin. Get my medicine, yet again, boost my intelligence. Extraterrestrial, alien shit. I been gone, running through the city like a fucking Flintstone. You looking like the little nigga getting picked on. I been knew you was them niggas that was scared on the curb. What's the word? Flipping birds out the Monty and observe how a nigga so absurd with the swerve. Who are you? 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 You talking to me? You talking to me? Man, who are you? Don't walk up to me. Don't walk up to me. Who are you? Who are you? Hey, who are you? 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 You talking to me? You talking to me? Who are you? Who are you? Don't walk up to me. Don't walk up to me. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Yo, peace, love, and law to everybody. We'd like to welcome you guys to the In God We Trust Academy podcast today, and we give thanks for each and every last one of you and your participation. As always, you could be doing anything else, but at this moment in time, you're choosing to kick it with us, so we give thanks, as always, and we're going to continue to vibe a little bit, and then we're going to jump into something I want to share with you guys for a quick moment today, so make sure you do like, share, and subscribe.
Smoking on that good herb. It's that country rap. Flowers, catfish. I got it out the mud, swimming with the catfish. Yeah, it's raw. My need a basket. 150 get the order at your door. We living savage. That dirty muddy catfish. Where how your trap max smoking on that good. Make it bring the gas. Before the blunt went out, I ran through my whole pack. All world, where you at? That catfish bring them back. I just sit up on the lane. Ingram Street is where it's at. All world, golden child. Swag father on the map. JL, what it do? And this that country trap. And this that country rap.
That pond catfish. My team eating good, off a gold dish. I got it out the mud. Fish scale, no flounder. It's catfish. Dirty, 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 dirty. I got it out the mud. No oil, just ether. It's catfish. Dirty, 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 dirty. I got it out the mud. Splash, whip. It's catfish. Skirt, 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 skirt. I got it out the mud. 20, 50, hundreds. It's catfish. Count up, count up, count up. Man, I got so many fishes, and they all for sale. My 10 hit me up and said we got them bail. Shout out to Lock 6, them getting rich. I miss my dubby put me on some gangsta shit. The studio was in the closet. He taught me how to hustle it. The reason you know swag, all world turn me up. Hit Mr. Old Owl, 36 flavors, what's up? Y'all trip me out, complaining about the prices. But tell me one thing, who swim better than my fish? And man, damn, you ought to see our world with. Seen them do one spin and lock that right quick. Before I hit the door, that was going real quick. I got it out the mud. Fish scale, no flounder, it's catfish. Dirty, 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 dirty. I got it out the mud. No oil, just ether. It's catfish. Dirty, 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 dirty. I got it out the mud. Splash, whip. It's catfish. Skirt, 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 skirt. I got it out the mud. 20, 50, hundreds. It's catfish. Count up, count up, count up. I got it out the mud.
Yo, man, that's some real stuff, man. You got to think about how far we have came into this, all the study and all the due diligence that we've been putting in. We really got this out the mud. There was no school. There was nobody hand feeding us this information. This is something that we had to dig down deep every single solitary day and read and study and find. See, those who seek shall find, yo. And that is exactly what we had to do to get here today. So did we get this out the mud? We absolutely did. And since we got it out the mud, I want you to look where we came from, and then we're going to get started, yo. So look where we came from.
Look where we came from. All of my homies on one accord now. We don't ask questions like what can we afford now. All of my homies important now. You break the code, you deport now. We play the game like a sport now. Endorsement straight from the hood now. Man, I'm out where then we good now. Don't approach me unless you more now. She approaching, asking for more now. Pick your head up, don't her head down. The struggle will sun up the sun down. I found my peace and we here now. Cold or on up in here now. So lay down the law, keep it real now. They lower your oil, it's man down. I got a few killers that shooting around. You know we keep peace, ain't no backing down. He said for my family, now he asking for treaties. Just watch out them niggas who acting so greedy. Them be the people who heart is so evil. Swear I couldn't do it with none of my people. Fuck with Mel, the trigger I'm squeezing. Alertion the pussy ass nigga I'm sneezing. Look how we spinning. Look how we spinning. Look how we driving. Look what beside me. Look what I'm smoking. Look how we winning. Look how we spinning. Look how we spinning. Look how we driving. Look what beside me. Look how we smoking. Look how we winning. Look how we spinning. Look how we spinning. Look how we driving. Look what beside me. Look what I'm smoking. Look how we winning. Look how we spinning.
Only if you know where we come from, man. You know what this means today.
Look how we smoking. Look how we winning.
These niggas mad, cause I'm still getting it and I'm still fucking they bitches yet. If you niggas wasn't pillow talking about me to your bitches, she wouldn't be interested. They hate how I came out the trenches with the same niggas I was in the trenches with. I tried to bring new niggas in the circle, but they turned to be bitches. Shit, fuck it, I'm taking over. I come with no limits, a no limit soldier. Extending my range, I'm in space with no rover. I am unstoppable.
Appreciate that, Mr. Houston, good brother of mine. Hey man, send me your music, bro. Send me your music.
The dream I'm pursuing, say what's my influence? Killing them all with regret. These niggas gon' hate on the check. I'm gon' get mine and no less. Confidence speak with my chest. These nigga bitches, they scream with their breath. I must confess, I ain't the same that I used to be. I done leveled up LBL 18 times 3. Yeah.
Look how we spinning. Look how we spinning. Look how we driving. Look what beside me. Look what I'm smoking. Look how we winning. Look how we spinning. Look how we spinning, look how we driving. Lil' up beside me. Look how we smoking, look how we winning. Look how we spinning, look how we spinning, look how we driving.
Yo, man, that's why I tell y'all, man, we come from something, yo. We come from the struggle, yo. We come from places of the unknown, sitting in places in the unknown, not being aware of the information that we have today. So this is the reason why I play all of that. All the songs you just heard was me. But everything, man, I just want to give thanks, man. Like, you know, yeah, bro, I need all your music, bro. Send it to me. You know, I'm playing all my people music. All these folks ain't had a chance to hear our stuff, this stuff. Some of the music I done played now, 10 years old. That last song was about 4 to 5 years old. The very first, the Catfish song, that's 10 years old, yo. So it's plenty of good music still out here, man, that still can be pushed out, brother. So I love a couple of your stuff, man. Send me all your freestyle stuff, cause that stuff was crazy. I wish you would have never stopped, cause I was tuned in, I was locked in, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But yeah, man. So, but I just want to say, like, we come from that though. Like, we come from so much, yo. And like, I just sit back and people like, well, why you listen to that crap, that music, man? Listen, that's where I come from. It's what I've been through, and it helped remind me of where I've been to where I'm at today. Like, I'm nowhere in any of those type of vicinities today to be doing anything in relations to those things. And it just shows you that, you know what I'm saying, God can place you in different places. Like, you know, everything is meant to be the way it is supposed to be. And, you know, like I say, I can remember being on Jorma Lane. I can remember the sheriff sitting right next door, like literally watching us daily, pulling over anybody that left my house. I remember having to call 911 and act like a shooting happened somewhere else just to get them to leave so we could leave. I remember all of that, man. I remember being pulled over and telling me that, hey, I'm going to be on this force for 25 years. I'm going to eventually catch you. And I looked them dead in the face. This is your last time seeing me, and I promise you that. You ain't got to tell me that you want me. I'm gone. I will never give you that chance, yo. So, you know what I'm saying? I take the signs, I take what God showed and got the F on. You feel me? So I'm just glad that part of my life has came and went. But, you know, I learned a lot from that, man. That's the reason why I'm still able to go places, talk to people. So, you know, I can relate to anyone in any situation, from the streets to the courtroom. Yo, if we got to sit down in front of CEOs or whatever, like, put me in any room and I can talk to anybody. That's guaranteed. And my face card good. So just know that. You know what I'm saying? Anything I need, anything I want, I can go get it from where I need to. So I've always been solid like that. Straight up. Gonna stay solid like that because I believe in doing what's right to people. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if we was in the trenches. I still was going to treat you right. I still was going to do what was necessary. And, man, I'm just glad we made it out of it, though. So all praise to the Most High for that. But today, man, today, I'm going to speak on to you guys about the burden of proof. The burden of proof is everything. So that's some of the things we're going to speak on. That's going to help you guys, especially when it comes to traffic tickets and stuff like this. Man, I came up with the most brilliant thing last night, and I figured, I might as well share this with y'all today. So, I don't know, you know, tomorrow's not promised. There's no better day than today to do this, right? So, drop some ones and let me know that you with me, that y'all rocking with me at this time, and we gonna get that up. We going to get that done right now. I'm dropping it in the chat for you, bro. Now, that don't mean the rest of y'all start sending me some crazy ass stuff. But if you got some good music, though, you know, I rock with you. I ain't got no problem with playing it out here. Just showing some love, yo. All right, I just dropped it in there, bro. All right. So, everything that you guys hear from this point on is for education and religious purposes only. So anybody that's looking or seeking any form of legal advice, please do go seek a legal advisor, as it is my religious duty to speak my religious truth and experiences here with you guys today, which is what I'm about to do. All right. So, man, let's go. You finna get even some more more and more free game for you guys today. All right, don't forget about our work sessions we do every Monday and Wednesday. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time, we will be here again in work sessions fully. Make sure that you do everything that you see on the flyer to get into class, to be present in, to ask certain questions and stuff like that. Also, In God We Trust Academy is doing one-on-one trust as well. So make sure that you start, if you're interested in doing the trust, it also comes with the conference. It's starting at $1,200, and we are literally doing everything for you. Okay, but also we're going to give you an actual class is going to explain every single document for you about what you need to do in relations to your trust, how to protect the rights and interests of your trust and stuff like that as well. So just make sure. I think I even might do another trust class, and it's called the protection of trust. So we'll even jump into that more, because I know people want to go a little bit more deeper, and that's cool. We can do that, but just make sure y'all log in with me, man. So let's hop on it. Let's hop on this subject today. Let's do it. All right. As you can see, it still say word at the top. So I have just definitely finished this. But I'm taking my situation and using it to help you guys even further, which has definitely sparked the creativity in my mind. So if everybody can see this, then we're going to jump and get started. All right. So listen, this is what I want to start off with. So you guys know how they always say that driver's license, the tags, everything is for like safety. It's for the public safety. It's to promote public safety. So I want y'all to think about this. They need to prove that, because what I want to understand is, how is a driver's license promoting the public safety? How is how is a tag promoting public safety? Okay. And they will say things like, oh, well, the driver's license is to make sure that everyone is knowledgeable upon the public safety rules. But here's the thing, though. It shouldn't cost you. That's another thing. Because they're taking a right and turning it into a form of privilege. So when they make these claims, they have to prove these claims. But it is our duty to bring them up. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it takes me back to when Christ was on trial, and the certain questions that he asked. And the questions that he asked was like in a way of discovery. But if you go back and see that the state, which is Pilate, could find no fault, right? He could find nowhere that the law had been disobeyed. So he had to free him. And so now he left it up to his people, which was in the manner of a religious aspect, and they killed him. So I'm just trying to like break this out to you guys for you to see, like, there are certain questions that need to be asked, and there are things that we don't ask. And I'm like, the more and more we dive in deeper into this, which I told you before this over, we're going to become a full expert in this. Like, nobody's going to stop us, because I'm just that determined. Like, I'm serious. We not losing. And oh, yeah, today, 12, 22, 20, 24. Man, beautiful numbers. Great day. So, yeah, so let's jump into this, right? So I can explain this a little bit to you a little bit more. All right, so we can just, and this just for preferences for you guys, for everybody to see overall, because everybody don't the same thing I am, right? So it says, comes now the defendant, a free sovereign United States national, and respectfully moves this honorable court to compel. So that is a motion. Always compel, because we need to see proof of evidence. All right. Compel the prosecution to provide specific evidence and meet its burden of proof regarding the constitutionality, necessity, and enforcement of licensing, registration, and towing requirements. As set forth below, the defendant asserts that the prosecution must demonstrate the following with clarity and evidentiary support. All right, we want them to prove everything that you're saying, and I want you to check this out, because, hey, the burden of proof on the state, the prosecution bears the burden of proving that the enforcement of licensing, registration, and penalties. So they need to prove that it directly promotes public safety and is narrowly tailored to achieve that objective. It complies with constitutional protections, including fundamental right to travel, equal protection, and due process, and was conducted in a lawful manner consistent with the procedural safeguards regarded by the 4th, 5th, and the 14th Amendments. All right, which also we could say the enumerated rights and the 9th Amendment and stuff like that as well, right? So now we're going to do what? We're going to demand for specific evidence here. The defendant respectfully requests that the court compel the prosecution to provide empirical evidence of safety benefits. So peer-reviewed studies, expert testimony, or statistical data showing how licensing registration reduces accident, reckless driving, or DUIs. They got to prove that. How does a license stop people from having wrecks? How does a license stop people from speeding? How do a license stop DUIs? How does a license or any form of registration, how does this prevent? By this happening, how did this ever prevent? You see what I'm saying? These type of things from happening, right? Proof of compliance with procedural. So documentation showing that the towing of the defendant vehicles was conducted with prior notice, a valid warrant, or adherence to state-mandated towing procedures as well. So we got to see all of that. Revenue and expenditure of records, a detailed account of revenue generated by licensing, registration, and towing enforcement compared to expenditures on public safety initiatives. So what we're saying here is, it seems like this is just a base way to build up revenue for the state and not more focus on public safety, because it is the charging of the people for this. So it means that if a person is not able to pay for a license, etc., he cannot exercise in his right to travel, which has been turned into a privilege. So now you're using the ability to pay to basically subject a form of constitutional right, which is, again, a violation of the Constitution, right? They cannot do that. And then now you have to go back into you not being able to pay fines and penalties. So, again, what this does is this sets its eyes on the poor and the poverty of the people, right? If you understand that, because that's exactly what is happening. They set their eyes on the poverty of the people, which is why I say one of the most monitored places are the what you call the projects or the low income areas. Like, yes, all of those places are always fully monitored. Now, they would like to say, well, it's a lot of crime and stuff that way. Well, only reason crime happens in a lot of different places is because of the lack of education. So now we have to look at to the public schools and what is being provided through these schools in the form of education, which literally means they're not fully informing you of the law and other things as well, right? So now these people lack resources to financial literacy and other things like that that would bring them out of poverty in order to participate in other things as well. So you got to really look at how this breaks down and boils down to everything, because only places that have high crime rates is because of the low educational and intellect of the people that resides within those areas. So if you understand that, now you see where the problem is, right? Drop some ones if you're with me. Drop some ones if you are with me, because I really want you to understand that. They that's their claim. It's a lot of crime rate, et cetera, being monitored around those areas. Absolutely, because of the lack of resources and education that is being provided in those areas. Go check out I can just think about what the public school I went to, Carver County, right? Went to Carver County High School in Leeton, Alabama. Where a lot of great people, Percy Sledge and all of them from. My dad was a great, awesome football player. Probably could have went to the NFL, just was scared to leave home. But Ozzie Newsome is from Carver County as well. So there's other people that I can just go on and continue to name off as far as great athletes. Ed West, couple others as well. But it just goes to show you, like, that's the school that I'm from, but the lack of education that was provided in that source of school, the school itself, right? And a lot of stuff that we didn't get along. I'm not just gonna say us. I'm really saying any county schools, any public schools, but we wasn't given the actual information that we are withholding and having access to today. And even though you got access to all of this information through the internet, et cetera, it's still not accessible to you in your classrooms. Like, we didn't even have any places to go into our library to look at the law in certain places, like about certain things. But yet they want to teach us in in history about the Constitution, et cetera. But they only just explained it into a very vague, type of way when it came to the Constitution. So again, all of this goes back, to the education of the people, for real. So now, if you look at it, then when you break everything down, all you got to do is see what statistically happens in certain places, and it's all based upon a design to control certain forms of people. They don't want you to get above where you're at because, again, that leaves them, without. People have because of your ignorance. And when you become into the intellect and the knowledge and wisdom of things, then now, they start not to have. The more you come into knowledge of law, you don't need a lawyer. The more you come into knowledge of being things of the herbs and things like that and healing, you don't need a doctor. You don't need a physician. And they don't like that because, again, these are forms of billion-dollar countries that actually actively operate in form of death, right? And it's crazy. All right. So we got to be more for ourselves in this, right? So we also want a detailed account of revenue generated, right? That's what we need. We need that. We also need the evidence addressing whether the enforcement of disproportionately impacts low-income individuals or specific communities in violation of equal protection clause. And it does. I'm telling you it do. You see what I'm saying? Everybody don't have certain type of money to do certain stuff. And now you hinder an individual from traveling to his job to make and create labor for his family or this and that or whatever the case may be, all based upon penalties and fees that does not involve any injurious crime. Or, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody hurt. There's nobody that's been damaged, et cetera, right? Now, I can see that if someone violated the public safety and then someone was hurt behind it at the same time, then yes, damages and everything that you do, you should fully have to compensate for. But there's no sense, though. It's no sense of burdening an individual who is poor because they ran the red light and now they got a fine. They don't got the money to pay the fine. And now that they don't have the money to pay the fine, they're going to lose their so-called privilege to drive. So now they lose driver's license. Now they're losing everything based upon themselves being poor. And it goes all the way back to, well, it's the responsibility of the country to make sure of the general welfare of the people. So that goes all the way down to education and everything else as well. So how much are we informing our people of the law, of financial literacy, economics and things of that nature? Like, all of that plays a part into what is actually happening today. And we cannot ignore that. Seriously, you can't. And so now you got an individual who just got their car took, can't make it to work now. They're already poor. They just got fired. They're going to get fired, okay? All because of their ability not to be able to pay. And it all started back on the education, based upon what are you putting in these particular places for these people, right? So, I mean, like I said, it is in full design, but we need them to prove this type of stuff. So legal basis for motion, the fundamental right and strict scrutiny. The state must prove that its regulations are narrowly tailored to achieve compelling safety objectives as required under Kent versus Dulles and Thompson versus Smith. Procedural and substantial due process. The Fourth and the Fifth Amendments require procedural safeguard before depriving individuals of property. The towing of defendant's vehicle must be justified. So my point is like they can't just tow your car and take your property because that's called a bench trial. That means you were punished without, I'm not even a bench trial. That's called a bill of attainder, excuse me. You were punished without any form of trial, without any form of notice, without any form of hearing. It just happened. They just took your shit. That is the situation, right? So, excessive fines clause. The Eighth Amendment prohibits penalties that are grossly disproportionate to alleged offense. So, again, we got to think about it. if this continue to puts people into poverty and continues to burden people, are these considered excessive fines? Because there's no injured party, right? And they would like to say, oh, well, this is to ensure the safety of the public or whatever. You cause harm to the public safety. But then again, you got to prove where you took a loss in books. So I also need to see the accounting showing that me running a red light has caused a loss or damages in your books. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of this has to be still directed to a personal injury. So we're going to say compel the prosecution to provide evidence meets the burden of proof regarding the claims outlined in this motion and stay further proceedings until the prosecution complies with this request, procedure, and require evidence, right? So this is what we need to happen. We need them to prove everything is of safety and it's not for other specific measures. You see what I'm saying? Yep. So now, in that, I gave you guys a memorandum, but I kind of updated the one that I gave y'all. So I'm going to show you another one. And this is going to be a little bit different than the one that I posted, but still in the same manner, right? So drop some ones. Let me know that y'all ready for that, man. Drop some ones. Let me know. Let me check y'all vibe. Right quick.
I'm really just trying to get all the way through this 32.
Trying to get all the way through. Let's go.
Stop the shit you ain't have to do. The pot, the pissin' ain't half as cool as the studio right after school. I was there cause I had it full. I got it then, and I got it in, and I got it in till I had to move. Slinging beats on the west side. That was back on.
All right, y'all vibing. Let's do it. All right, so this is just a memorandum speaking on certain things, and we're going to express those things again. All right, so this memorandum is submitted to address the constitutional, statutory, and procedural violations committed against me. In relation to the charges currently pending before the City of Huntsville Municipal Court, it asserts that the action taken by this court and its agents violate my constitutional rights, exceed this court's jurisdiction, and constitute a direct assault on the liberties guaranteed to me under the United States Constitution. This memorandum also seeks to propel the prosecution to provide evidence substantiating its claim and enforcement actions. Without such evidence, the charges against me must be dismissed. The following outlines the legal deficiencies, the constitutional violations, and evidentiary demand that mandate immediate dismissal and restitution. All right, the Constitution is supreme law of the land, as established in Article 6, Clause 2. Any statute, ordinance, or municipal action that is repugnant to the Constitution is void from its inceptions, right? Marbury versus Madison, 1803. The principle is reaffirmed in Bonnet versus Valieri, as well as in 1908, Norton versus Shelby County in 1886. Now, actions by the City of Huntsville, including the seizure of my vehicle, the imposition of fines, and scheduling of a bench trial devoid of jury oversight, violate constitutional protections as such. All right, the court lacks the authority to proceed against me in a manner that infringes on the actual rights. All right. So the right to travel is constitutionally protected liberty, not a privilege requiring fees or licensing, as stated in Thompson versus Smith, right? So the right of a citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property. So we can say we are in transit, transportation, his property thereon, either by carriage or automobile, is not a mere privilege which a city may prohibit or permit at will, but a common right which he has under his right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. All right. In Shuttleworth versus the City of Birmingham in 1963, the Supreme Court held that states cannot convert a right into a privilege by imposing fees or acquiring licenses. The application of municipal traffic laws to regulate my personal non-commercial use of public roads infringes upon this fundamental liberty and is therefore unconstitutional. So now we have to deal with the towing and impoundment of my automobile constitute an unreasonable seizure under the Fourth Amendment, which is, they dead on that part, 1972. So a deprivation of property without due process is unconstitutional and void. The city of Huntsville failed to provide prior notice, obtain a warrant, or adhere to procedural safeguards before seizing my vehicle. This action further violates the due process protection of the 5th and 14th Amendment and constituting a taking without just compensation. Additionally, the enforcement of these penalties without an injured party or harm caused by me violates, common law principles. So that's Sherrod versus Cullen. So we need procedural violations and lack of evidence. Evidentiary demands. The prosecution has failed to provide empirical evidence or studies showing that licensing registration directly prevents accidents or enhance public safety. Proof that towing of my vehicle complied to state laws and procedure safeguards. Revenue and expenditure records demonstrating that these measures are not revenue driven but genuinely serve public safety objectives. So they got to prove that this is not revenue driven. But how can we prove that it is? Because every officer has a what? They got a quota. So why are you trying to meet a quota if it's not what? Revenue driven. Drop some ones. I don't think I understand that. They got a quota they try to meet. I have a used to be a good friend of mine. His dad, who we cool, but he was a state trooper, and he always talked about they had a quota. So having a quota to me is pretty much what? Revenue driven. It's not based upon the fact of public safety, right? So that's another thing, right? So without such evidence, the state has not met its burden of proof and charges must be dismissed. They got to prove it. So the court as a municipal administrative body lacks jurisdiction to import fines or incarceration without adhering to constitutional protections. The 7th Amendment guarantees your right to a jury trial, which is further supported by Duncan versus Louisiana. We also can add in the 6th Amendment too, because we got the right to face our accuser. They have to show personal injury and harm. So I'm going to add that in there with that. All right, so now we got economic discrimination and excessive penalties. License, registration, and related fees disproportionately burden economically disadvantaged individuals, violating the Equal Protection Clause or the 14th Amendment. Additionally, the penalties imposed through towing and impoundment constitute excessive fines in violation of the 8th Amendment. The enforcement of these measures creates a two-tier system of justice where the ability to pay determines one's access to constitutional rights. Again, the ability to pay, right? Well, the ability to pay determines one's access to constitutional right, a system that is both unjust and unconstitutional. All right? So, in light of this, right, the constitutional violations, jurisdictional overreach, and lack of evidentiary support, what we're going to do? The prosecution has failed to meet its burden of proof and has acted in violation of the constitutional rights, restitution for property taken. The automobile, all related personal property must be returned immediately along with compensation for damages and towing. The court must take judicial notice of the constitutional principles and procedures cited here to prevent further violations, and we need them to acknowledge by court in prosecution of their duty to uphold the Constitution and avoid further breaches, right? So this actions taken against me by the city of Huntsville are unconstitutional. It constitutes a gross violation of the principles of liberty and justice. This court has a duty to protect the rights of individuals and ensure compliance with constitutional standards. I respectfully request immediate dismissal of all charges, restitution for my property, and acknowledgement of the constitutional violations in this case. Failure to address these issues will leave me no choice but to pursue further legal actions to hold all responsible parties accountable. I trust this court will act in accordance with the law and its constitutional obligations. Simple, yo. So now, and these motions are very important to do because now this is letting them know that everything that has to be proven. And if they can't prove it and they decide on it anyway, then when it goes to the appellate court, the appellate court has to take notice of the motions and was they either supposed to be acknowledged or not, etc., which they are supposed to be, because again, this helps you prove in your discovery for evidence to, for your statement of proof of your claim or what you're stating in your rebuttals, right? So this is very important. But I just thought about that. Like, they always say this stuff is for the safety, etc., and when they say things, it's their burden to prove. So if you say something, you have to prove it. All right. So always remember that. Just put in there I want y'all to put in there the claimant has burden of proof. All right. The claimant has burden of proof. Put that in the chat so I know y'all with me. Because the claimant has to prove everything that they're saying. We don't have to answer to a damn thing. We can have all the questions we want, but we don't really have to answer to anything until we get all the answers from them based upon our questions of their burden of proof. They have to fully be able to prove. And if they can't prove, then it has to be dismissed. So anything that you're asking of and it actually bring this to you, then bring light to you to make your rebuttal claim, and they can't bring that forth. Just the same as I say about the note, it is is their burden of proof to have to bring that note forward. So make sure you guys understand that part. That is a very, 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 very great part that you need to understand about all of this, right? Because they're going to use, and this is something else too, right? They'll use precedent cases or try to use a case and they'll say something like, oh, well, the court has the right. Well, the state has the right for the regulation of the public safety, et cetera. Yeah, you do. You have all the right for the regulation of the public safety until it infringes upon my constitutional rights. That's where it stops. Nobody said you didn't have the power to do so. Like, you got the right to legislation. Okay, that's cool. But that legislation has to stop when it starts infringes upon the people's power, right? We are not taking that away. So now we can go back and ensure why do they say these? Well, see, look, that goes into this. Foosball said, why do they say these arguments are frivolous? Because it's not enough people out here that's standing in this daily that is knowledgeable of the law. It's so easier for them to do something to one or two people or a few people based upon the whole mass of people not understanding. So that's the reason why, like, when we see certain stuff happen and then, like, we'll be like, oh, well, you look in the comments and they be like, well, why don't they just do what the officer said? Just do what they said. Just do. And it's like, bro, that's not the law, though. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the people mind. The people mind is that they're always right. So as long as they consider the arguments frivolous or this and that, then you got to understand this is an individual that we're speaking of, right? That sits in the seat. So just as they saying they are frivolous, then why were they ruled upon already? You see what I'm saying? These situations was already ruled up on. Marbury versus Madison, right? You got what else we got? Chaparral versus Thompson. We got Shuttlesworth versus City of Birmingham. We got Thompson versus Smith. Like, it's so many different other things that we can go to in relations that already proven that you're right. But see, now they got other places that deals with different situations. Now, each court case is different. That's another thing you got to understand too. Because, all right, me and you could be talking about some of the same thing. Excuse me. But each case is its own. So my point of me saying that is, like, it's based upon the valid of facts and things that are being presented in the case on how the case can be judged. So if you're not presenting what you're saying correctly, then you can't use these type of preceding cases or stare decisis, whatever, to use in your particular manner, because you're not bringing it in the correct manner in relations to how and what you're speaking on, which can make it frivolous. That's another thing, right? So, like I say, they talking about, okay, if you're going to say, because they're going to say they do have jurisdiction because you committed a crime within the city limit. All right, that's what they say. Well, you violated statute code. It's within the city, and it happened within our city limit. That gives us jurisdiction. All right, but the truth is, you got to prove something here. You got to go back and prove certain things, right? They got to prove that they didn't violate any form of constitutional rights. So make them prove it. Okay, well, prove that this statute doesn't violate, because I'm going to prove that it does. And I can show you through preceding cases that have already been done that it does violate. Again, it doesn't make any difference. Somebody had a wreck right now. I think a wreck happens, every 5-6 seconds, something like that, all over the country. Yeah, so somebody's having a wreck right now. Somebody's driving under the influence right now. Somebody is, I don't know, you just name it. There's potholes and shit. And that's the thing. And this is another thing you guys need to understand. All these potholes in the road and all of this type of stuff, and it's busting your tires, messing the suspension of your car up and all of that type of stuff. Yo, look, go read the charter of the city. Go read what they're supposed to do, and the county. They are responsible for the roadway and making sure that it is safe. So guess what? If it ain't safe, we should be suing. They are to be held responsible. I think I have one right here. Let's see. Treaty on Legal Remedies. It's one of them in here where it speaks on me being able to do that. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if this the book. No, it's not this one. I'm going to see. I'm going to find it. Just a second. Let me see if I can find it in this one. Okay, yeah, this is it. So let me find the one I'm looking for. Let's see. That's a debt on bond. I'm finna find it to y'all. Find it for y'all in just a second. And all of these are different administrative and things to understand. Let's see. Warranty, guarantee. Carrier for loss of goods, breach of promise. Look, this is what I be trying to tell y'all. They got one, assumption for breach of promise to marry. Boy, y'all be telling these folks y'all gonna marry him and don't marry him, they can sue you. Breach contract. All right, let's see. I think I might find it. That's covenant, payment. I'm gonna find it. Trespass, battering, assault, trespass, breaking and entering, trespass for false imprisonment. That's one. Let's see. Y'all, hold on. I'm going to find it. All right. Trespass on the case for malicious prosecution. Trespass on the case for libel. That's slandering. Trespass on the case for careless driving by a servant. Wow. Oh, I found it. So we can really get them for careless driving, reckless driving, doing 100 miles an hour, chasing somebody down in the in our neighborhoods. We could actually get y'all for that. That violates public safety. Since y'all want to talk about public safety all the damn time, we can get you with that. All right, let's see. What else we got? Let's see. I'm trying to find the one about the road. I'm going to find it. Oh, this is a plea and abatement. We got that one. Plea of accord and satisfaction. Plea of statute of frauds. Plea of duress. Infancy. Let me see. That's the plea of tender. Demurrer to evidence. Oh, that's dope. Just the habeas corpus. I might have passed it. I might have to go back. But it's in here. Let me go back to the front of it. I want to find it because I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all this ain't no joke of what I'm saying. It's not a joke. Good soul, open an account. Administration, foreign bill. Don't look like I'm going to find it. I'm passing this stuff. But it's in here somewhere. I've posted it once before. But anyway, if you hit a pothole or something of that nature. If I find it, I'll post it up for y'all. I just don't feel like sitting here keep looking at it. I told the dad he lost 2 of his daughters to go after them. Is that a city charter book? No, it's not a city charter book. Why do they? Let's see. But I want to find this. Now it's got my mind boggled to find this. So I'm going to find it. So y'all can either sit here patiently or I'll catch y'all on the next reel. But it's didn't bothered me to find it. Let's see. Procedure, access, trespass. Writ of mandamus. Plea of payment. They claim they called off the chase before the incident, which was a crock of shit. Well, if they called off the chase, why did they still keep chasing them? And then all it takes is for the people to sue. It takes for the community to sue. They could do a petition on that particular officer driving reckless within that community. All of those people who become witnesses. But again, like, this is what I'm saying. This is stuff we don't know. So you don't know to do it. Y'all think it's cool to see some officer doing freaking 95 in a 45, but pull you over for saying you're doing 95, you're doing reckless. Like, bro, you just did a whole freaking police chase, and then you're doing it in places like that. If they hit something, flip into somebody's house, then there's nothing to be said. They're going to put all the charges on the actual individual instead of the company, and it's going to happen like that because people are not aware. You are not aware. And I think that everybody should be aware. Everybody. Trespass on case for slander. So they got that. If you're slandering people, prosecution. That's why I be saying, y'all be talking crazy on Facebook about people, but they really could come get you. You got the right to freedom of speech, but if what you're saying causes damages and harms someone's business or their character or whatever the case may be, here you go. I found it. Okay. So it says trespass on case against municipal corporation for injury by defect in streets. So it says John Doe plaintiff bring this action of trespass on the case against a municipal corporation organized under the laws of the state, defended to recover against it the sum of $5,000 in damages. The ground of the plaintiff action is this: by the charter of said corporation, it is made its duty to keep its street in good order and safe condition, and at all times to properly protect any excavations made in said streets. As whereas a certain street in said corporation known as Pine Street was and is much traveled and used by the citizens thereof and others, and as whereas on whatever date a deep and dangerous ditch was dug, or you can say a huge pothole, whatever the case, excavated in the said street and suffered during a night on or about said date to be remain open, exposed, and without guards, lights, or other protection or notice to citizens and travelers against accidents of which the defendant had noticed the plaintiff on the night after said was lawfully traveling on the said street and under warrant of danger was accidentally and without fault or negligence on his part precipitated into a said ditch whereby he received greatly bodily injury and became sick, sore, lame, and disabled for the space of weeks, during all which time he has suffered great pain and was prevented from attending to his business and has ever since remained in such conditions and has been put to great expense in trying to be healed and has suffered still continues to suffer great pain of body by reason of said injuries whereby he has sustained damages to the amount of $5,000 and therefore he sues. So with that being said, that's what I'm saying. That's what I am telling you right there. So it's stuff like that that we are not aware of. It's stuff like that that we don't know. And we just sit here and let shit happen to us, right? They're responsible for the upkeeping of the road. So what I'm saying is, like, if there's a certain place, and especially if it's been reported, like, hey, it floods here, somebody's going to hydroplane, you guys need to fill in this particular place so the water does not sit on the road and causes someone to hydroplane, right? If that has been made known to them and they do not fix this particular situation because we gave a notice, then you hydroplane and have a wreck in that particular spot, guess what you can do? What do you think you can do, family? What y'all think y'all can do? And I'm glad we found it. I told y'all I was going to find it. I wasn't going when I find it. So anybody want to know this book? I learned a lot from this book, so this will help you. Procedures in common law, actions in equity, and the extraordinary remedies exemplified by the pleadings, forms for all actions at law and equity, and for clerk entries, procedures, and habeas corpus mandates and certiorari, right? So I actually learned a lot from this, okay? So a lot of this stuff is still valid today. Some of the stuff they have abolished in certain type of ways, but they still give you a remedy through statutory law, as I've been teaching and showing you guys through certain situations, right? So, well, you should have been suing them, Cynthia. You was T-boned in a police chase. They should have got sued. So, yes, check this out. All right. Check this out. I got this one. I got a lot of them. So, these ain't all the ones. I got another one. This is a good one as well. A treatise on legal remedies, mandates, prohibition, habeas corpus. Again, and it's just teach you the rules of this. You still need to go into look into the statutory laws and legislations and, you know, things of that nature to see how, and the court procedures, and it'll make it all make sense even more to you, right? So, yeah, I've actually read all of these. And another one is the law and practice relating to criminal informations and informations in the nature of quo warranto with forms of the pleadings and proceedings. So yes, this has different forms, different pleadings, different proceedings, tells you how to really act, how to deal with these type of situations that has been going on forever, yo. Forever. So you got to understand that rule nisi for quo warranto information against a counselor, we can do that. It's a lot, like I say. That's in these type of books, which I have about 10 of these types, different ones, but they all are good things to read. For sure. I still pick them up sometimes and read them even more just to regain and refresh knowledge. But also, don't forget this book. This is the book I wrote. So you can get this on Amazon. Go and get it. The Negro Book for a White Man. Teach you a lot. Somebody like, why is named that? Well, controversy always grabs attention. So yes, go and definitely check out those books that I showed you as well, man. It's something that you can get into studying, and see, you keep asking me what to do about your situation, and I explained it to you when we were in work session. I told you that you have to sue. If you didn't give someone the right to perform some type of act on you, then you gotta sue. It's just simple. And it's something as simple as, on this day, I was supposed to have surgery for this particular thing and thing only. The doctor ended up operating something that we did not have a contractual agreement with. Boom. This is under deception and fraud, misrepresentation, in a form of practice, right? That's it. You don't have to go and make it sound like a lawyer. You just need to you need to make sure, one, there was a contract that you agreed upon, and the actual surgery that they performed is not the surgery that you agreed upon, and that this is a form of breach of contract, and now you got to have your relief and damages. All you got to do is state the jurisdiction where it happened at, which gives it the jurisdiction and venue. So now you got all the legal elements that you need to sue. That's all you can do. So I've said this to you bunches and bunches of times, and I'm going to say it to you again because my answer is not going to change. That's the only thing that you have to do. There's nothing else that you can do. And I'm pretty sure if you was to sit down and speak to a lawyer, they would love to take your case. It'll make it easier on you, since if you're having any such other form of problems or things of that nature, and if you are, then again, you need a form of guardian in this, for real. You need someone to take over in this manner for you. So, yep, is what you need to do. All right, guys. Well, that's it, man. I got to get going. I got things I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I got to go travel in this beautiful, pretty red truck that I got that they thought they was going to get to keep. So all praise to the Most High. And here's another thing I like about it. Guess what? I can drive in the city all day that I want to, no matter what. Even if they was to stop and say, hey, we're going to try to give you a ticket. You can't. Can't charge me for the same thing twice here. So until we go to court, yeah, we'll see you. You know? But it's been great. It's been a great time with you guys, and I enjoyed, and maybe I will catch up with you, later. And we'll see how everything goes from there. Until then, y'all have a great and beautiful day.
Look what we came.